And we are back with some more Nova Scotia Supernovas franchise mode, and in this one, we're in the Year 8 playoffs. So hopefully we can have another run at the Stanley Cup, as we already have our one from 4 years ago. We did make the playoffs last year. We actually made it to the Stanley Cup Final. However, we got absolutely smoked by the Colorado Avalanche. That was absolutely embarrassing. So hopefully we can make it back there this year, except with a different outcome. However, we do have quite the obstacle in our way here in the first round with the Florida Panthers there, 55-22-5. Certainly not going to be easy, especially with Spencer Knight in net. Let's take a look at his stats for the season. This year he had 32 wins, 17 losses, 1 shutout, and a .914 save percentage. Certainly pretty good, and it looks like his profile is actually a bit glitched there. About a fifth of this jersey is showing. So I'm not sure if that's exclusive to Spencer Knight, or no, it appears to be all the Panthers for whatever reason. Okay, that's interesting. Wait, hold on. How about our players? Okay, that doesn't appear to be affecting us. So that's certainly interesting as to why it's only happening with the Panthers. Let's see, what about other teams? Oh, okay. It's happening with other teams too. That's certainly very peculiar. It appears every team besides your Nova Scotia Supernovas have most of their players' heads cut off. Well, hopefully it's just their profile pictures and not their actual heads. That would be rather concerning. Anyway, assuming everyone's heads are intact, which I would certainly hope so, let's get straight into this game 1 against the Florida Panthers. All right, here we go. And the profile pictures are carrying over to the cards, so that's just great. Sim game, we have a 3-1 Nova Scotia victory in game number 1. 3 stars of the game, Chychrun, Knight, and Lindmark. Shots are 40-31 in favor of your Nova Scotia Supernovas. First period, you have Nemesnikov getting the first goal of the game and of the playoffs from Eriksson with the assist. Duclair gets the first goal for Florida. Then in the second period, you have Peterka from Chychrun and Kiviharju. Gets us his 2-1 lead. And then in the third, with 10 seconds left, Onishko with the empty netter from Jaeger and Stenberg gets us the 3-1 win. And Dominic Peter is now back from injury. I'm not sure how long he was injured for, but I believe it was quite a while. How many regular season games did he have? 40? Yeah. So he was... That must have been a major injury there, but he comes back to our lineup just as Liljegren gets injured, apparently. Although it is only day-to-day, so we'll see if he's able to play in the next game. Probably not. So we might have to call up another defenseman. Yeah, it looks like we will, because Peterka's getting in there on the back end. So I'll call up Doyle in that case. Oh, apparently Doyle is suffering that same unfortunate glitch. Honestly, I'm not sure what's going on there. That's never happened before. Anyway, here we go into game number 2. Hoping for more or less the same results. And unfortunately, it will be a 4-1 Florida victory. 3 stars of the game, Fedotov, Duclair, and Nas. Shots were 28-25, so kind of low shot totals. First period, you have Lundell scoring for Florida. In the second, you have Duclair scoring, make it 2-0. Onishko gets our only goal of the game from Stenberg and Jaeger. And then it's Mukhanov and Fedotov with the goals in the second. No goals in the third. And that'll be the final score. Here we go, game number 3. Can we make it 2-1 in favor of us? Yes, we can. 6-3 victory. Shots are 45-36. 3 stars of the game, Peter, Chychrun, and Khmelevsky. First period, you have Doyle with his first goal of the playoffs, substituting for Liljegren, I believe it is, from Peter and Khmelevsky. And then you have Onishko from Kiviharju and Peter to make it 2-0. Second period, you have Surdev and Gould to make it 2-2. But then roughly a minute and a half later, you have Peter from Eriksson and Chychrun to get us the lead back. Third period, you have Juricek 31 seconds in from Velikov and Beck to make it 4-2. Then you have Eriksson from Makarov and Khmelevsky to give us a 3-goal lead. Barkov, their captain, I'm assuming still, gets them back within 2. But then Khmelevsky from Makarov gives us the 6-3 win. And here we go, game number 4. It appears the Florida Panthers pictures briefly fixed themselves, but now Duclair's face is gone again. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it appears the Florida Panthers have a 5-2 victory, and the series is tied at 2. Shots at 37-31 in favor of your Supernovas. 3 stars of the game, Allen, Surdev, and Lindmark. So first period, you have Lindmark scoring for Florida. Second period, Onishko gets a goal on the power play, unassisted. Then you have a goal for Huberdeau from Florida to get them back in the lead. And then in the third period, you have Suarez, Huberdeau, and Allen back to back to give them a 5-1 lead. Juricek gets us on the board to bring the deficit to 3, but obviously nowhere near enough as Velikov and Beck get the assists on that one. All right, going into game number 5, certainly an interesting series so far. Let's see who will have the advantage going into game number 6. And it will be your Nova Scotia Supernovas with a 5-3 victory. Shots are 38-25. 3 stars of the game, Eriksson, Barkov, and Odelius. First period summer, you have Lindmark scoring for Florida. But then Jaeger gets an unassisted goal. And then Stenberg, 16 seconds later from Odelius and Zetterberg, gets us the 1-goal lead. But then Mukhanov later in the period gets the game tied. Second period, you have Barkov taking the lead for Florida early in the period. But then midway through, you have Eriksson with a shorthanded goal from Peter and Odelius to make it tied. And then in the third period, you have Jaeger from Onishko and Stenberg, and then Khmelevsky from Eriksson and Makarov to give us the 5-3 lead. Or 5-3 win, I should say. And the 3-2 series lead. And here we go. Game number 6. Could this be the game we move on to round number 2? Or will it go to 7? Here we go. Period number 1 now underway. And that'll be a goal for Florida. Berger with the first goal of the game. Come on, guys. There it is. Jonas Wu with our first goal of the game from Zetterberg and Odelius. We're now tied at 1 late in the first, and that'll be all for 1. Second period time. And there's one for Duclair. He makes it 2-1 Florida. And there's a goal. Nemesnikov from Makarov makes it 2-2. So back and forth game so far. Dominic Peter with the goal from Onishko and Wu. We're now up 3-2. This is the first time we've had the lead in this game. And Kiviharju with the goal from Onishko and Odelius. We are starting to get hot. There's another one. Stenberg from Nemesnikov and Kiviharju. We are now up by 3 midway through the second period. And there's a goal for Florida late, very late in the second period. Duclair with the goal with 8 seconds left. Makes things interesting going into the third. They are down by 2. Come on, Nova Scotia. Let's get it done right now here on this power play. And there's one for Onishko from Jaeger and Kiviharju. We are now up by 3. And yep, there's a goal for Jaeger from Stenberg and Onishko. We look to have things pretty much wrapped up here. And yes, indeed, we do. That is a 7-3 victory in game number 6, and we move on to round number 2. 3 stars of the game, Onishko, Kiviharju, and Stenberg. Shots were 46-35 in favor of your Supernovas. And in the second round, we have the Ottawa Senators to go up against. They were 51-27-4 on the regular season, so once again, another team that has a better regular season record than us. That's all right, though. We saw what happened last year with the Colorado Avalanche. It looked like they just barely squeaked into the playoffs, but of course they just steamrolled us in the Stanley Cup Finals, so anything can happen here against any of these teams, really. So let's get right to it. Game number 1 against Ottawa. We have a 2-1 Ottawa victory. Shots of 35 apiece. 3 stars of the game, Perdon, Beck, and Kovačko. First period, you have Kovačko with the goal for Ottawa. And then in the second period, Jonas Wu scores from Owen Beck. And the third period, no scoring, so it goes to overtime where Kovačko gets his second of the game and makes it a 1-0 lead for Ottawa in this series. And here we go, game number 2. We have a 7-3 Ottawa victory. Oof. Shots are 45-27 in favor of Ottawa. 3 stars of the game, Stützle, Schneider, and Järventie. First period, you have Johansson scoring for Ottawa. Gets them the early lead. Then you have Stenberg on the power play from Juricek and Chychrun to make things tied at 1. Stützle scores to make it 2-1 in favor of Ottawa. And then late in the period, Dominic Peter from Jaeger and Onishko gets it tied heading into the second period. Early in the second, you have Stützle getting an unassisted goal, making it 3-2 Ottawa. And then soon after, Onishko with a goal of his own from Peter and Odelius to make it tied at 3. But then Stützle with the hat trick makes it 4-3, and then late in the second period, you have Ilyachev to get the 5-3 goal for Ottawa, and then early in the third period, he scores again to make it 6-3, and then Josh Norris soon after makes it 7-3. That is a rough loss for your Supernovas, and unfortunately, to add insult to injury, or I guess add injury to insult, I'm not sure how you would say that in this case because we have 2 injuries. Kiviharju and Doyle go down. And it looks like Kiviharju is out long term with that 1%. Fractured finger, 2 to 3 months. Not good. So he's basically out for the playoffs. Wu has a mild hip strain and Doyle 1 to 2 weeks with a sore elbow. Yeah, he's not going to be back in this series probably. So I believe that means we have to call up Tomek. Actually, we're going to have to call up another defenseman. Ashton, I suppose, come up here. A 1.5-star defenseman, not ideal. So defense is looking a bit rough right now, especially on the third pair there with Ashton and Tomek, but we're just going to have to make do with it, I suppose. Yeah, you got Provorov, Kiviharju, and Doyle all out. That's rough. Two of our best defensemen. Plus Lodnia, who's still out with that knee injury. Yeah, that's making things significantly harder here, isn't it? Oh well, I suppose there's not much else to be done except power through and hope for the best. So here we go, game number 3. Will this be a different result? Nope. Ottawa with the 5-2 victory. They're not giving us a good time. They are not giving us any room to breathe, and they're just overall kind of dominating right now. Shots were 37-31 in favor of Ottawa. 3 stars a game, Perdone, Batherson, and Sanderson. First period, you have Yarventi scoring first for Ottawa. Then about a minute later, Onishko from Peter and Jaeger. Then Kachuk scores, 6:33 into the period, to make it 2-1 Ottawa. Chikrin later in the period from Zetterberg and Makarov to make it 2-2. Second period, no scoring. Third period, you have Batherson, Kachuk, and Perdone all with goals for Ottawa to give them the 5-2 win and a 3-0 series lead. Ugh. So being down 3-0 with Lodnia, Provorov, and Kiviharju all being out, this is not looking good. All right, so here we go. Game 4 against Ottawa. Can we hold on, or will it be a sweep for the Ottawa Senators? Let's see. And nothing happened in the first period, so we are tied at 0-0 heading into the second. And Chmielewski gets the first goal of the game from Eriksson, and Chikrin makes it 1-0. But then Stützle gets the goal from Norris and Batherson to make it 1-1 late in the second period. And in the third, tied at 1. Come on, Nova Scotia. Oh, Kovačko with the goal for Ottawa to make it 2-1, roughly 5 minutes into the third. And there's another one, Yarventi from Kovačko and Greg. Makes it 3-1 Ottawa, not looking good. Not looking good. Oh, okay, there's one, Chmielewski from Eriksson and Makarov. We do have a chance, but we have to bury another quick one. And nope. We are swept out of the playoffs for the second year in a row. But this time by the Ottawa Senators and in the second round. Not ideal. Not ideal. 3 stars of the game, Yarventi, Chmielewski, and Kovačko. Shots are 32-23. So we outshot them. We just couldn't outscore for whatever reason. Definitely missed the presence of Lodnia and Provorov in that series especially. Would have been nice to have both of them. Now, I'm not saying we would have won that series if we had both of them, but we would have had a much greater chance of that possibility. But unfortunately, we'll never know. Let's take a look at the stats one more time before we end things off. So you have Onishko in 10 games with 12 points. He did great. Peter and Jaeger with 8, 7 for Stenberg and Eriksson, 6 for Chmielewski and Makarov. Then you have 5 for Chikrin and Odelius, 3 for Wu, Juricek, Nemestikov, Zetterberg, and Beck, 2 for Velikov, and 1 for Peterka in 1 game played. Yeah, I think Peterka is going to be on his way out, honestly, because he didn't play a whole lot this year. And he didn't never get injured either. Like, he was just in there for 44 games and a healthy scratch for the rest of them, and only 14 points and only 1 playoff game. Yeah, I think he's on his way out. We need to save some money going into this offseason because we have a lot of big contracts being renewed. And even though Peterka, he's not making too much money, he's only making 2.6, we still need to save any bit we can. And clearly Peterka's just an extra at this point, so may as well clear up cap anywhere we can. Then you have Klee, Tomek, Ashton, Liljegren, and Ingram all pointless during the playoffs. So definitely expected more out of Liljegren and Ingram especially. So that is something to consider going into this offseason. Because clearly whatever magic we had going on 4 years ago is no longer here. Now, I don't know whether it was one of the trades that I made that did this, but it is clear that whatever we had back then is not working for us anymore. So we are going to have to make some decisions going to this offseason, as tough as they're going to be. And I think we will leave this one off here. And in the next one, we'll start the offseason for year number 8.